Hello, welcome to the Run to Remember podcast. I'm your host, Kristen Fairs, joined alongside race director Carrie Watkins. This week, we're talking with Reverend Landon Whitsitt. His church is right on the marathon course. Kevin Stone explains why he has a very unusual way of running the race. And we catch up with Governor Kevin Stitt, who started training for the relay in the Governor's Relay Challenge. Our entire community turns out race weekend, so don't miss out. Join us to run, volunteer, or cheer for the 2024 OKC Memorial Marathon the weekend of April 26th through the 28th. Visit okcmarathon.com for the latest information. Carrie.
Back here, downtown Oklahoma City.
Downtown OKC.
News 9 Studios, so grateful. Big news, we're down to one state.
Which is amazing. What's the state?
Rhode Island people, we're looking for you. Rhode Islanders, come on down. Come see us in Oklahoma, get a taste of hospitality, and don't have your state left out. It's the only state missing for the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. And we've got a lot of other things to talk about today. Some great comments from runners on their favorite spot on the course. We'll talk about toward the end of the podcast.
Towards that. We posed that question on social media. Love the responses.
Yeah, lots of surprises. So look forward to talking to through that and just catching people up. We're getting closer and closer every week.
We are. Our first guest today is Reverend Landon Whitsitt, who is the senior pastor at Westminster Presbyterian Church. Landon, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Full disclosure, Landon's my pastor. So.
Well, you need one, so that's good. Just kidding.
She's the best congregant we have.
We all need good pastors. And thankfully, there are some great ones in Oklahoma City.
That's right.
And we're so grateful for the 20 or so plus on the course who decide that Marathon Sunday will become a ministry versus a curse, and Westminster's done that as well as anyone. Thank you for just leaning in and loving the race. And I know you haven't been in Oklahoma City forever, but
No, I got to Oklahoma City in December of 2020. It was a weird time to show up.
Sure was.
And I didn't know anything about the marathon. I knew about the memorial, but I didn't know anything about the marathon. And so it was a delight to learn about it. But more so, it was a delight to learn about how important it is to the folks at Westminster. I mean, you're exactly right. It is a ministry opportunity. There's no grousing whatsoever, which is fantastic to be the pastor of a church and nobody is complaining.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
That's great.
So tell us about your Sunday morning on Marathon Morning. What do you all do?
Oh, my heavens. I mean, I like to say that Jesus actually rose from the dead at 10:30. So Jesus is not even up by the time people show up for the water.
Well, that's for sure.
Right?
I'm almost certain that's a fact. Ungodly hour.
Ungodly. There's a lot of prep that happens in the days leading up to it. Obviously, a lot of staging happens inside. Again, we're right on the course. So that morning, early in the morning, the 5 o'clock hour, I don't even understand what those numbers mean. But people show up, they bring out the tables. And we've got a good, solid crew of probably 25 or 30 that do this every single year. And even last year, we started partnering with another organization called Hope is Alive. They help people through addiction.
Another great group.
So we're just really excited that we get to show love to people as they are running because, loving our bodies is something that God wants us to do. And so all of these folks who are doing the marathon, we just want to encourage them and celebrate who they are.
That's so amazing. And really it is about, Oklahoma City does this so well, but faith played a huge part in the recovery. So we don't shy away from talking about faith, whatever religion or faith denomination you are. But the days following the bombing, everyone showed up. Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindu, everyone came and helped. And I think that was a bringing together of people like we had never seen. And Marathon Sunday is a little bit like that. Everyone just comes and helps. And so for runners who are here from all over the world and for Oklahomans, just to see these churches pouring out. And it's a business day for you normally. It's a day you – and so we realize we put you out of business that day. And I'm not crazy about it, but that's the day the city wants you to run because it's the least traffic busy day, which people don't understand why we choose Sundays. That's why. But you guys – at Westminster do it incredible, and you have some fun. You've got music going. You've got families are playing, and the neighborhood's hopping.
It's hopping. It is a business day, but I do want to say our business is making sure that people understand that being fully alive is what God wants of us. And so if that means that we're going to run, express ourselves with our bodies, have some control over this thing, that is fantastic. We are grateful for it. And one of the things that I like about the marathon is that we believe that God helps us to make meaning out of tragedy. And so this is a way, I like that it's the run to remember, because that's the thing that the Bible says more than anything is remember. And so we always have to be remembering, and we always have to be remembering that even in tragedy, God can use that to make good things. And I have been so impressed in my 3 years here in Oklahoma City, the way that this community has taken this particular incident, but in a lot of things, it's an ethos in the community that we get to decide what this means. We get to decide how we move forward. It's an honor to be a part of something like that.
It's incredible.
It is, yeah. Landon, do you think there's members running this year? Any you know of?
None that I know of, but I'm sure that there are.
Mike
There
Turpin, I'm
always
sure,
are.
is running.
Oh, I'm sure.
My heavens.
So not only does he put up with you, but he's got to put up with Mike Turpin.
It's a lot, and my dad.
And your dad, yeah.
To be clear, I love both of those men deeply.
Oh, good. So tell us
It's a
where your
lot.
church is, so as people run by, they can say hello and give you a high five.
Yeah, we're on Chartel between 43rd and 44th. We're right after Gorilla Hill, so we're between, I think, mile 7, 8.
People need a lot
somewhere.
of prayers about that moment.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. We'll be out there offering the prayers and Gatorade and water.
They might need some Gatorade if they chose to partake in a
Powerade, people, Powerade.
That's right,
Yeah.
Powerade. They might need some Powerade if they chose to partake in a not sponsored beverage. At
That's
Gorilla
right.
Hill.
That's probably
Yeah.
a good idea. At your brother's house or something.
It's a good time to have an official water stop.
Well, we are so grateful for all you guys do, and I know you've got an incredible group of folks that help
do.
you, and great people who've been good to us all along, and we're just really thankful that you guys step up to serve, and thank you for all that you're doing.
We appreciate being asked every single year.
It will be a fun stop, so look for Westminster Church, a
fun.
gorgeous church at the top of the hill, and on Chartel.
Right after Gorilla Hill,
Right before you make
hit
the
it
turn.
both on the half and the full
That's
course.
right.
before
You get
turn.
everybody.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Landon.
You're welcome.
We
Thank you.
appreciate you. Our next guest, Kevin Stone, is a marathoner and a ran them all. Kevin has been a part of every OKC marathon since day one. Kevin, welcome.
Thank
Wearing your inaugural Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon shirt.
You're welcome.
Vintage.
Super cool.
Vintage, that's 24 years old, you
April
know.
29th, 2001.
Pretty
Wow.
cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Kevin, you've run them all. You ran with the governor in his training run, but you run not in the same way everyone else does. Tell us what's unique about how you run
The last 4 years, I've ran the marathon barefoot.
the entire way.
Yes, yeah, no shoes.
What about those little pebbles that are in the street or
Nah,
trash?
It's not bad at all. It's a pretty nice course. There actually is one rough segment about mile 15. We cut over through a neighborhood, and that less than a half mile. It's pretty tough, pretty rough blacktop, but other than that, it's all nice.
So I feel
like a
like
massage all day.
I have
Oh,
so
gosh.
many questions.
Yeah, go after it. Go at it.
But the first one that is why? What made you've done it for 3 years, you said? So
This will be the fourth year.
the fourth year. What made you start running barefoot?
I started with minimalist shoes maybe in 2016 or so. I
So
had
very little sandal or
Yeah, very thin sandals. And after wearing those for a few years, and I'd occasionally run barefoot just, on my casual training runs, and thought, well, I don't really know what the point of wearing these sandals is. I just run it barefoot, and it worked out fine. It's been really nice.
And so, at what point do you approach the start line with shoes on, or just
No, I
you're
don't.
barefoot the whole way?
Yeah, from
Time you get out of your car, you're barefoot.
yeah, I'm barefoot.
Are
Leave the
you-
house. Shoes are in the back seat. I don't wear them.
Wow.
Yeah. So do you spend a lot of your day barefoot?
Well, I have to wear shoes at work or when I go in
Uh-huh,
businesses.
right.
But other than that, yeah, I'm barefoot.
Is
At
there
home,
is there a
anywhere.
benefit to that? What was the kind of the why behind what made you start going this minimalist
Well,
route? Was there an injury or something
There
like
was
that?
there was an injury. I used to wear a certain model of shoe. They quit making it, so I started experimenting with a bunch of different shoes, and I ended up with plantar fasciitis. And if I'd just gone and see Mark at OK Runner, I could have avoided all that. But
Yeah.
so I started just with the injury, I just started over, and I met an ultra runner wearing sandals, so I just started with the sandals and really liked it, and I didn't have
Yeah.
any more feet trouble.
Interesting.
And so, what races are you running in this year?
The marathon.
And are you doing the 5K the day before?
Oh, yes.
So you're doing
My
the
wife and I
Why
do the 5K Saturday. Now that we've split them on Saturdays, which was a great idea.
So you're doing the Why We Run Challenge, which means you run one on Saturday, one on Sunday, and you get another bling, another shirt,
Yes.
and more stuff, but no shoes.
No shoes either one.
So how's the training going this year?
I've done one 20-mile run.
Good.
Last weekend, I intended to do a 20-mile. I got 2 miles in, and I strained my calf. So I just walked the next 4, called it good, and I plan to be back to doing 20 this weekend.
Any tips for, I mean, you've been here since day one, so this is what, the 24th
24th.
year. What's your advice?
Well, for me personally, the most important part of the training is to do the long run. Your volume of miles helps, speed work, hill work, all of that helps. But for me, the most key is to get up to at least 20 miles before the day of the run. And then if I've done that, then I know I'll be all right at the marathon.
And you're a group of a kind of a small few of random
About 30 people.
Yeah, which is super cool. You've been here since day one. What made you sign up for the very first marathon?
Well, I'd ran a couple of marathons, and then, it was to honor the bombing. So I thought, well, me and the group of friends were like, well, we have to go run it. And then, you start running it every year. And then sometime early on, they started putting on our bibs, one of 120. So then I was like, well, I got to stick with it now.
Right.
And a good friend of mine, every time I'd be like, I'm not sure what I'm running, she's like, oh, no, you're in it. You're running the full no matter what. So in tough years, she pushed me to stick with the marathon.
That's amazing. So you've seen the race evolve and develop and change. What's your favorite thing you've liked and maybe something you wish we wouldn't have changed?
Well, I love the way it's grown with the way all the spectators. I mean, there's these huge water stops, huge music. But there's also people just in their lawn chairs, just a good job. Whenever you need something, somebody's there to provide it. So that's been great. Personally, it hasn't been any negatives. I mean, we've changed the course a few times. I think it's always been great. Now it ends at the park. Every time you make a little change, I think it's ideal, and you make a little change and it gets even better.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, that is good to
Try
know.
to change and evolve with the city, so that's good to know.
Do you have a favorite spot on the course?
Well, Gorilla Hill's great, but just before that, there's usually like a drum line at Sparrow Park.
Yes.
Right.
And, I'm feeling good by that point. I'm kind of in the groove, and that drum line is great.
Sparrow Park is really one of those, people love it. And I think about back, I can't remember the year, but we had a storm come through on Saturday morning. This was back when everything was run on Sunday. And I get in my car to go drive the course. I picked up my security director, and we started driving through. And Sparrow Park had more trees down than I can explain, water main broken that had snapped. And I go out to the emergency center to meet with Oklahoma City Police and Public Works. And we come back, and the people of Sparrow Park are out there with their rakes and chainsaws cleaning it up. And so I love that. I love that they embrace it so much as well.
Well, the people on the course, it's like such an honor to them.
Right.
That their street or their neighborhood or their
People,
church
yeah.
or that
And you
they're
feel that as a
part
runner.
of the
Absolutely.
course.
When people take an ownership and
They
want to
take
do their
ownership.
part, you feel it when you're running through there, and it just lifts you up.
I love that.
Kind of
Yeah.
position you're in.
That's
too.
great.
Well, this is remarkable that you've run them all. It's unbelievable that you do it barefoot. That's really an amazing feat. We've got a couple barefoot runners that I've seen out on the
I've
course.
seen a few.
Yeah.
Usually in the relay.
Do you all know each other?
You'd think we would, but I haven't seen those guys at the club meetings.
You haven't? Good. Well, we're so grateful that you're running with us and that you are part of this and you've just cheered us on. And thanks for always just showing up and coming to Run to Remember. It
And we
means a
want
lot.
to thank all that you do, Carrie. I mean, the Ran them All are certainly, since we've all been a part of it, we know the amazing amount of effort you have to put in to make this happen and make it better every year. No matter how great it is, it always gets better, and we appreciate all that you've
Gratefully,
done.
I'm surrounded by an incredible team, so I just get to take the credit and let them do all the work, actually. So thank you for being a part of it.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Kevin.
So, the Ran Them All really is a very dedicated group, and it gets a little smaller, maybe by 1 or 2 through the years. But
Yeah.
I think we're down to 30 this year. We're still waiting on a couple to register, and we'll check in with them because we don't want to apply pressure. But it also is an aging population, so not everybody wants to keep running marathons when they're older.
And they don't have to run the full, though.
For
correct?
those
They can
folks, we let them run the
Yeah, they
half or
have.
be a part of a relay. But the one thing I was talking to Tammy Pallett Saints yesterday, and I want to go back and look as we approach the 25th. There may be some other folks who've run all halves or every relay. I'm going to go back and look
So
at
it started as a
marathon,
full,
yeah. And so we just want to keep these folks involved and engaged. And so we're really excited to have them, and they've just been a great part of kind of the race. And so Kevin represents that group today, and we're really grateful
Yeah.
for that.
The leadership at Hobby Lobby, many who are runners and advocates of health and fitness themselves, have proudly partnered with us as a sponsor of the Governor's Relay Challenge since it was first introduced in 2019.
Hello, my name is Mark Green, and on behalf of Hobby Lobby, we are honored to be a part of the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. Our Oklahoma roots run deep in this great state, and we know firsthand that through tragedy comes our greatest strength, hope for tomorrow. It's because of that hope we are stronger together than apart, and that is why we are honored to support this great community we call home. Hobby Lobby celebrates with all Oklahomans today.
You did it! We're running in Oklahoma City!
For this special guest, Carrie and I took the podcast out of the studio to an early morning training run downtown with Governor Kevin Stitt for the Governor's Relay Challenge.
We're here with the governor as we wrapped up the training run on this beautiful morning. Kristen, you ran with him?
I ran with him. I think he's ready to go.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
I'm recovering from an injury, so I was struggling to keep up with you. So I think you were pretty good. But I see her that you're bringing your A game here. That last year, what you finished in the
162nd, apparently. 161 team beat me.
This year, you try to get this up 150?
Oh, better than that.
Okay, all right. I love that.
Top 50.
You know how he's doing it? He's stacking the team with women.
Oh, is that right?
That's exactly right.
So,
Last year was with my family,
Yeah.
so I had my 12-year-old son at the time. But he actually did pretty good.
I was going to say, he seemed for the finish line pretty strong.
He did good, yeah. And then I had my son-in-law who did good, and then I had my 16-year-old daughter. So we had a family team. This year I'm empowering women, so I've got a whole ladies team. So I've got some former OU track athletes, some OSU track athletes, one of my cabinet secretaries who's going to be running with us. And so it should be fun.
Great.
And which leg are you going to run?
I think I'm going to downgrade to the 3-mile leg instead of, I did the 6-mile last year. But we'll see.
So you have more women on your cabinet than most women, is that correct?
Yeah, I think more than any governor in Oklahoma history for sure. And it's just, it's amazing. And really, I never really thought about it. I just try to go get the best person for the job. And, Blaine Arthur, my Secretary of Agriculture, she's just amazing. She's a leader nationally. Everybody looks to her nationally for agriculture issues.
She's a leader here. She chairs our caucus committee.
Yeah.
She's a rock star.
Yep, she is. And she lost her mother
That's right.
here when she was a 13-year-old girl. And so it's always we always have a time talking to her, and I ask her questions about that day and 13-year-old daughter. And then I asked her how she had 2 other sisters. How did her dad do it, raising as a single dad? And so my heart goes out to all single parents and how they're able to do that and raise such wonderful young women. And so he did a great job with his daughter.
You have a strong aunt who's also on your cabinet.
Yep.
In Winchester.
Susan Winchester, Secretary Winchester's on my cabinet, does a lot of administration and works with all the different regulatory agencies. And so she does an awesome job. And then Tricia Everett, Secretary Everett,
Right.
Public Safety. She's a rock star. Everybody looks for her. She's got a great balance. We're a law and order state, but we also believe in second chances and helping people with mental illness and nonviolent drug offenders. And so I really look to Secretary Everett for her leadership there as well.
And then Shelley World to cheering tourism, and which we're a big part of.
Yep. And I think Shelley's the one that's going to be on my team with me. And she's a rock star. She gets up.
Blaine's in the half. I know that, but she may be on your team too. But Shelley's good and great partner.
Yep.
We're going to be great partner with us.
Shelley's great.
So you run this. You could be doing a lot of it.
And Nellie Sanders,
That's
Secretary of Education.
Yes, sorry.
So we don't want to leave anybody out.
Yes. Then we get everybody in. We don't want to. Yeah, absolutely. As we run this every year, you could be doing a lot of other things on Sunday morning. We choose to come down here and run and bring attention to this, which we're grateful for. But what makes you do that?
As a fourth-generation Oklahoman, I was a senior at Oklahoma State in April of 1995, and I remember exactly where I was. And like most people in Oklahoma, it was really just a pivotal moment for our state, and to see how we all came together, and the Oklahoma Standard was born out of that. And then this wonderful memorial that we have put up to remember those that lost, the lives that were lost. And really, like Secretary Arthur and all the people that were affected. And I knew people went to my church in Norman that were involved, and so and then the Oklahoma Standard born out of that. And so it's a run to remember, to teach that next generation of Oklahomans. We're never going to forget what happened on April 19th, 1995. I think this is our 24th Memorial Marathon. There'll be over 20,000 runners from all over the world.
Right.
And so it's a great community event where people will be lining the streets and cheering for us, and just a lot of fun.
And the week before that is April 19th. You're always here. You and your wife are always here on April 19th to say you're remembering. Why is that still an important day in Oklahoma?
Yeah, I think we need to remember what happened, the events, and to stamp out, hate and the things that happened that day. And I think that's what Oklahoma does, and we lead that way. And we're here at the Survivor Tree, which is just an amazing symbol. And starting to bud, they're planting the offspring of this tree is all over the world, I think.
Yeah, it is. Is that one in your yard?
And the new Citizens building going up, and it's just cool to be in downtown Oklahoma City.
It really is. I think one thing you talked about a lot is finding common ground. We come here on your sacred ground to find common ground. You're working hard toward that to bring everyone together. How do you keep doing that with so much division in the world?
That's a great question. Jim Shriver's a good buddy of mine. His mother, Euless, started the Special Olympics, and he is the nephew of John F. Kennedy. And he started this dignity pledge. And so I signed that dignity pledge. I think I was the first governor to sign that. And it's basically to say, hey, let's talk about ideas, and let's talk about maybe our differences, but we don't have to be divisive. We can argue passionately about what we believe in and how we think we should move our country forward, but we don't have to be, mean-spirited about it. And so that's the things I try to do in Oklahoma.
So one last thing about someone here to remember. You're raising the next generation of kids. What is it you tell them about why April 19th and what the lessons we learned are important?
That's a great question. I think with my own kids, you just sit down and you say, hey, on this is what happened on that day that somebody had the Ryder truck, right? Ryder truck that pulled in and was filled with hate and hated the government so bad that they targeted a government building. And we need to stamp that out and then what the consequences of that hate that fostered and turned into that action led to destroying 168 lives and all the families and all the folks that it touched. And so we need more togetherness, and we need to stamp out that hatred. And but there's evil acts in the world. And it's when we have to have a strong, law and order and intelligence groups. And I think they've done a lot there too as well.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I mean, as a reminder of the calendar, get a team of 5, come out, meet your time, and get the t-shirts that you hold the governor.
Yep.
We got to beat him first.
You have to beat him.
That's right.
I am telling you, I watched some of the women run who we have on this team. They're going to be fast. So hope you're out there training, bring your A game. And thanks for doing that with the River Memorial.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming to running to remember.
So, Kristen, you ran with the governor.
I
took
did.
a good race. How'd it go? Kevin was there barefoot.
He was there barefoot, yep.
And there was a great group of folks. Blue Halsey from Continental, Chris Fleming, our marathon chairman. I mean, there were some fun folks, Mike Ketcherside from MTM. I'm just a great group of folks who came out, Chuck, and a lot of land runners.
Yeah.
And some of the governor's staff. And you guys took to the streets.
We took to the streets, did a little training kickoff run. It was good. It was
and
a
it
beautiful
felt good.
morning
It was
downtown.
a gorgeous morning.
It was a little, just that little kind of sneak peek of starting your morning right by the reflecting pond and at the memorial, and then getting to run downtown a little bit, and we ended up by the Survivor Tree. So just a really important reminder of why we run, and it was fun to see a lot of people out on the streets.
Yeah, it was incredible. And I think one thing as we're looking at our projections, it looks like we will sell out
Which is
of
exciting.
every race. And so we want to push you to, get on and register today if you can, because there are only so many teams and we want to sell out. But last year, the governor was, I think, 161st. And so 160 teams beat the governor. That's like out of 470 teams. He promises he's going to do better. I challenged him to be top 10 because that's what kind of his line. So see if he can be a top 10 relay. We'll see how he goes on that. But
he stacked his team with an impressive group of women.
Women, yeah.
Yep, all
so
women.
we'll see how that goes. So we're excited to have the governor back and appreciate his support. And
it's a fun challenge.
it's a fun challenge.
Yeah,
and,
the relay's a fun race.
And I can say I don't know of any other marathon in the country that has the governor challenging people to get out and run. So we're grateful for that.
Yep, very fun. And then we also posed a question on social media asking people what their favorite part of the course was.
Oh my
We heard
gosh,
a lot
yeah.
of response, which was fun to hear and read through.
Thank you, those runners who commented and gave us their comments. Kind of the top mentions were the start line and the 168 seconds of silence. That
Yes.
always is important to everyone. And I think people, even if you know you've done it before, it still gets you when that thousands of people can stop and be silent for 168 seconds. And so
It's something everybody should experience
Right.
at least once.
And then the people love the banners as they come in on Oklahoma City Boulevard. That was mentioned several times. As you round the course and come in, you see those 168 people that we run to remember for. And we love that people know why we run this race and why it's a different kind of marathon. And then Gorilla Hill, of course, was mentioned.
Yep,
plenty.
Lakehurst.
Yep.
is,
And
you know.
approaching the state capitol. People love that they run around the capitol, run through the tunnel. That was something we added several years ago. That tunnel is, we try to add some excitement around there with some bands and stuff, but that's fun. And then Irish Alley, it's kind of where the half and full split.
Yes.
Again, I harp on this every time we talk about the course.
Make sure you're looking.
Make sure you look for signage if you're running the full, because you turn right on Western and go back up into Nichols Hills, the village, and come back.
You're planning on running the half. You don't want to miss that turn.
If you're running the half, you split and go 50th, which according to some people I know is a hard little stretch, and then you jump onto Classen, which is no piece of cake.
No.
And then anywhere there's a drumline band, people seem to love the drums.
Yeah.
So the Thunder I think they're the first drummers to greet them
Yes.
as they come around Paycom Arena. And then I don't think I saw the bridge on Oklahoma Boulevard mentioned, which is, one of the first steep inclines.
Because that's a hill.
I know, that's a hill.
Well, and we asked for favorites.
Well, that's somebody might like the challenge. But Lincoln Terrace, Mesta Park, Edgemere neighborhoods, all ranked up
great.
there.
And then there was one I'd never heard of, Mimosa Lane.
Yeah, where is that?
Where's Mimosa Lane?
Well, it's not technically on the course, but I need to know where it is.
Yeah.
So please text us or email us and let me know where that is, because I might check that out. And then Cleats for Kids has a cheer section on Classen. They're a great partner. We're doing a project with them in a school later in March, and they just step up and help too and serve. And so they did a great cheer section at the park along Classen last year, and kind of brought Classen to life in what was typically an area that was kind of quiet.
That is a little bit a longer stretch that people kind of need more encouragement. Is what you hear.
And then lots of compliments about that Spark Burger.
Yes, people love the Finish Line Spark Burger.
So one thing about Spark, I'll tell you guys, it's open all weekend, except for Sunday morning when they're cooking 10,000 burgers. But we kind of box them in with our fencing and our signage. But if you're hungry for a Spark Burger ahead of the race, they're open all weekend. So check them
go
out.
get one.
They're a great partner.
Get some of their pink fries.
Pink fries are unreal. So are their bacon cheese fries, FYI.
Oh, I haven't tried those.
And they have usually a good frozen drink. So that's all my tips for the day.
Yep. Well,
That's it.
sounds great. That's it for this week's podcast. The Run to Remember Memorial Marathon takes place the weekend of April 26th through the 28th. We want you to catch every episode of the Run to Remember podcast, so please subscribe, and if you like it, share it. Visit okcmarathon.com and follow the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for the latest updates. This is your host, Kristen Fairs. Let's marathon.
So keep on going.